Today we are going to talk about Kamael and Samael. They share the same sigil in the old Grimoires. And Samael is feared by many. So since I received so many questions, let's jump right in. But let's start with Kamael, he who sees God. And he personifies divine justice and guards the gates of heaven. And he was the one who battled Moses. And here I try to write, my pen is leaking, I try to write it out in Hebrew. And there's Samael we said, but you can see in the Hebrew letters that they are different. And then we come to Samael as poison of God. And here the alphabet changes. And in that particular office he is the angel of death and divine retribution. And he was the guardian angel of Esau, Jacob's brother, in Genesis 27. And he slew the firstborn in Egypt in Exodus 12. And to just put out the facts out there, he rules Tuesdays and Mars. And sometimes he's referred to as the potestates of the fifth orb in Magick. And in Art Pauline Book 1, he rules the first hour of every day, is ruled by an angel called Samael. And since he always rules the first hour every day throughout the week, that means that he does things in a lunar way, in a mercurial way, in a solar way. So when you know the planets, you might see that he's always the number one of the 24 hours. And in Goisha he has 10 chief dukes beneath him and 100 lesser dukes, and each of the lesser dukes has 444 servants. So these were the basic facts. And I can say that in my life it's been a tango. I got Mars and the Lilith moon in Venus, and Samael has helped me many times from my youth. And not everything is so black and white that it always seems. And I don't know why he chose to help me. I didn't call upon him, I didn't know who he was, but later on in my life I realized that was Samael. And I think it was because when you are forced into a corner early on, you get this rage within. But I was always strategic and took action. I didn't go out violently, act out. But it was the build-up throughout the years that was within me. It wasn't like conjuring him up and commanding him of things. It wasn't anything like that, but he was a big part of my life, and I had to learn that lesson. Since I had here Mars and Venus, they have their thing going on. And being a teenager and having those two strongly, my only help felt like Saturn. And then of course Michael. So I had to balance this out from... The shaman said that I had this unbalance already as a 3-year-old, and from 6 I started to notice, and as a teenager I felt more and more. And so it's been a tango. And sometimes when the planets are strong, I get a little bit annoyed with having Venus and Mars, so I promptly put out them in the kitchen. I don't have any. I work with Kamael. I call upon him as Kamael, in that he who sees God. I don't call upon Samael, but Samael is always present in my life, as has always been a part of my life. And he's a great protector, but he's also exhausting for me. His passion, the cold strategy. But he's very good when things were going haywire. I was at work and there were a lot of criminals and things like that happening around me. And the police waited for backup, and I was the only woman there, and things were going out of control, and I felt him behind me. And I don't know how it happened, but somehow they listened. They looked at me, since they said that my eyes went black. And I had this I acted like a general in a very strong way, so they got stunned by the way I acted. No yelling, no screaming, no cursing, that's not me. But they reacted to the way I acted, and they saw that you have a will of iron in that moment. And so I'm very grateful for those moments when he stepped in. And with my analytical mind, I of course thought that is this Michael testing me? Am I going to give in? Since he comes so natural, he and Venus, since they are so heavily on me, that I feel so comfortable with them hanging around me. So that's why I work with Camael and Haniel more. Since the dark side of Venus and the dark side of Mars, they are very passionate together, and if you have a natural Kundalini rising in your chart, then you know that it is exhausting. It isn't, for me, I'm not a sexual person, so it isn't that kind of thing, but the need to act, I'm still struggling with that. I can't sit still and wait like others do. I have to step in and do something. However bad it is, I still have to take the action and do something. So it's been I don't know, I wouldn't have been me without having Samael in my life from early on. And I felt safe with him as a child. And then of course, I did Abramelin later on, and in the Enochian, he is ruler of Mars and so on. But I'm very respectful of him, and I treat him respectfully, and he should treat me respectfully. But I'm very cautious with Mars, since I'm Mars myself, so I don't. So that's the only angel I call upon when I have a full ritual, let's say that. I have my archangels there, and I have everything. If I need to call on Samael and ask him to do something, in that case I do a full ritual. But otherwise it was too easy for me in it's enough that I think of him, or I listen to a specific song or something like that. And I can feel him when he's around. And I think it's a question of respect and learning. And for me, he's been good since that way, since he forced me to take responsibility from 6 years old. Since I knew what I didn't want to become. And Samael has a will of iron, and so do I. So in one way he created me, or raised me as well, to not give up and to fight for what you believe in. no matter the opposition, and be strategic and cold and not get a hot head. So this was a different video, but there's been a lot of misunderstandings, especially since Kamael and Samael has the same sigil in the old Grimoire. So, but I wouldn't like they worship him and all that kind of thing. I wouldn't do that. But it's up to everyone, and everybody has their own way of doing things. And if you work with the 7 planetary angels and you work with Sephiroth, you will encounter him. This isn't New Age. It's both light and dark, and you can have Michael and Samael side by side in the room. They are causal. They don't like each other, but they are causal. Or somewhat in balance, if I put it that way. And so that was it for now. And I hope it clarifies something for you. But look up the Bible, Genesis 22 and Exodus 12, and make up your own mind and so on. Have a magical, magical day. Bye for now.